Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today is of course Monday, which means it's another Max Monday event on Pokemon Go, and also we have the final day of the current event which is going on as well, so we're going to discuss a little bit more about that. But of course it is only 5:36 at the moment, so Max Monday does not start until 6 p.m. local time, so we have got a few more minutes until that is starting. So first of all, we are going to be doing the current event which is ongoing. Let's just clear out some space to try and get some more Pokemon caught while we're walking around. So let's transfer those out of there. So the current event that's ongoing is called Spring into Spring. Now, it's the event that's been going since around about Thursday time last week, and it is the final day today. It's been quite a eventful event. It's not really produced much shinies for us, but we have had, of course, the likes of Blacephalon and Stakataka arriving on raids, depending on whether you're east or west. Depends on which one of those you will get. West Hemisphere get Blacephalon, and the East Hemisphere get Stakataka. So if you are wanting one of each, then you will have to rely on some of those remote raid invites to try and get one from the other hemisphere. Now, we're just going to have a look round and see what spawns this event is going to bring to us today as well. Now, it has been one of those events where each couple of days the spawns do slightly change. The first couple of days we had an increase of certain Pokemon, then the second couple of days we had an increase of others. And into the final few days now, we've started seeing more of the likes of a Alolan Executor spawning and Cherubi. So Cherubi is of course shiny available, and it's the only way of getting the Cherim shiny is by getting Cherubi and evolving them. Now, it is one of those that is a random evolution, so it's similar to the likes of Gorbis and Huntail. When you evolve a Clamperl, it will be randomly evolved, so you haven't got any way of determining what it's going to evolve into. But it is quite a rare shiny Cherubi. It obviously was available at first in eggs only, and then they made it available in the wild, and with that the shiny odds for Cherubi got pushed up to 1 in 512. So shiny odds are full odds for the likes of Cherubi, but this guy here, Alolan Executor, he is 1 in 64 shiny, so hopefully you've managed to get a shiny of him this event if you haven't already. That guy we've just caught there was the brand new Pokemon released this event as well. Something else that's come out this event, and it is Gossiflower. So Gossiflower evolves as well using 50 candy. You can evolve it into its evolution, and this one is a brand new Pokemon for this event. Now, we're just going to spin these stops here and regain our breath a little bit. That hill doesn't half take it out of you when you're walking up there. So let's just feed our buddy and get back on track with this. So make sure to get involved in the comments down below if you are tuning in. We are 20 minutes away from the Max Monday, and today is going to feature Dynamax Wooloo. And of course, Dynamax Wooloo was one of the first ever Dynamaxes to be released on the game. If you remember, way back when we first released the Dynamaxes, probably around about a year ago now, they brought out Dynamax Wooloo and Squavette as part of a timed research, and of course you had to obtain 3 before then you could do a max battle. So it was part of a timed research, you managed to obtain them, and then only then, once you've got 3, could you start doing max battles. And Wooloo was one of those first ones with Squavette. So it is quite a nice one to try and be able to get a good one of, just for that reason mainly. But other than that, its usefulness is starting to deteriorate a little bit more. with the additional Dynamax and Gigantamax that get released on a weekly or monthly basis, the usefulness of the likes of Wooloo or Double, its evolved form, is now slowly deteriorating out of a Dynamax situation. But still, it's one that we haven't managed to get a shiny one of yet. Shiny is a full odds 1 in 512, so we would be lucky if we can get one of those tonight, but you never know until you've got to play it to win it. And hopefully we can get a shiny Dynamax Wooloo tonight. That would be very, very cool if we did. Now, free particles, we've got another 240 to collect before we can collect our final walking one to get the maximum amount of particles today. Now, one other bonus from this current Springs into Spring event is that it is a half egg hatch distance, which is really, really cool if you want to try and hatch those eggs. 5 kilometer eggs have a chance of hatching Remoraid, also have a chance of hatching the new Pokemon, Grossiflower, and also Fletchling. Now, Remoraid and Fletchling are shiny boosted during this event. They are, instead of being the full odds, they are around 1 in 128. So that's instead of the full odds of 1 in 512. So a quarter increased. And then with those shiny boosted as well is, of course, that Grossiflower, which can't be shiny, but that is also in 5k eggs. 2k eggs, though, are probably where you're best trying to get from those Pokestops. Of course, it is completely random. But 2 kilometer eggs do hatch the baby Pokemon, the likes of Magby, Mantike, and also Badoo, which is a baby form of Roselia. So those ones are quite nice eggs to try and hatch, and especially with that half egg hatch distance. 2 kilometer egg, of course, is only 1 kilometer in a normal incubator. It'll be around about 0.7 if you used a super, so you can hatch quite a fair bit of those during the day, even if you did do them just one at a time. But Fletchling and Remoraid have got their shiny boost this event, and like I say, it does end today. This event does, a Spring into Spring. So if you haven't already got those shinies, of course, Fletchling did have a community day a couple of years ago, and if you did miss out on that, it could be a good event for you to try and get yourself a shiny Fletchling with boosted odds. And of course, Remoraid has never really had an event where it's been boosted shinies for Remoraid, so quite nice to see that featured in an event. And it seems to be the way past or recent events have been going, is that we get the event spawns, sometimes we get a new Pokemon release like on this event, and then we get those shiny boosted Pokemon. So that does seem to be a feature now since Scopely have brought out Niantic, is that we do seem to get those shiny boosted events, which makes it interesting, makes it more fun to go out and walking around with the higher chance of getting some shinies. And of course, there is every possibility that the Pokemon you want may be the one that's featured during the event with that shiny boost, so that'll be pretty cool. So it is a little bit raining, a little bit. It's only drizzling at the moment. Hopefully that stays off. As you can see by the camera, my hair is going completely all over the place based on the wind. We haven't got our hat with us today. Grossiflower. Nice little excellent throw there. So there is quite a lot happening this event. with the additional spawns each 2 days. Every 2 days the spawns change. Of course, this is the last day. There's also hatch an egg task. Hey, thanks very much for joining. Thanks for your comment. Hope you're okay. So there is also a hatch an egg task, which is available on stops. You'll see it with the event banner around it. And the hatch an egg task can be Pikachu or Eevee with a flower crown. So if you do want that shiny, then they are the tasks you want to be going after. Hatch 2 eggs is the shiny boosted Pokemon or the new Pokemon. So the same as the 5 kilometer egg pool. Hatch 2 eggs is likely to be Fletchling, Remoraid, or of course Grossiflower, which is a new Pokemon which cannot be shiny. Cherubi on the other hand can be, and it still isn't for us at the moment. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Thanks very much for joining. My best Pokemon in terms of highest CP, or my most favourite Pokemon. So in terms of highest CP, I've got 5,206 Hundo White Fused Kyurem, Regigigas, Shiny 98, Mewtwo 96 Lucky, level 50'd, Shadow Mewtwo also level 50'd, Kyogre also level 50'd, Palkia with a LA background, level 50'd. So loads of level 50 Pokemon. Pretty decent setup we've got. And after spending all that Stardust building up that, my dream shiny. Which one was your dream shiny? Sorry, Mewtwo, or was it something else? Mewtwo, yeah. It is a very, very cool shiny, of course. Very nostalgic as well, coming from Generation 1. Super, super nice shiny when it's green. And of course, we have yet to have Mega Mewtwo release, which I would fully suspect that Mega Mewtwo would come out in some sort of event, global event, potentially like GoFest Global. Perhaps not this year, but next year it could do. Of course, it has got X and Y forms. So I would suspect that potentially it could be on that sort of event where it's a 2-day event. You could get X on one day and Y on the other. Would be interesting to see how they do that. But Mega Mewtwo is going to be an absolutely crazy addition to the game. We all know how powerful Mewtwo is anyway, let alone when it gets its Mega forms released. Newbie, that's absolutely fine. Don't feel bad for being a newbie. We all have to start somewhere. It's just a case of building yourself up, managing to do a couple of raids, and once you start doing those legendary raids in a group, of course, at first, once you start doing those legendary raids, you'll soon start building up some decent Pokemon. My tip for a newbie would be to try and get your 50 coins every single day from putting Pokemon on gyms near you. And when they get defeated, you can get up to 50 coins each day for free. And with those coins, start buying storage space, both item storage space and Pokemon storage space, because you're going to need that, else you'll find out you keep running out. So use your free coins on that first. Once you get up to a stage where you're sort of comfortable with the amount of storage space you've got, then you can start investing into raid passes. Now, certain boxes available in the shop. So if you go into the shop, you'll see these boxes here, these limited time only boxes. They change every day. So some of these are actually really good and some of them are not so good. The best one for raid tickets is when you collect 5,425 coins, and that one will give you 99 raid passes. And that's definitely the best raid pass to coin value of any. But of course, there is also the free pack raid bundle down there as well, which is not too bad a value. It's a lot cheaper than buying a single one on its own. But once you start raiding and building up, don't get too carried away about powering up things that are just 3-star. Definitely try and keep your Stardust to power up the ones that are better. So towards a hundo in the 90 RVs, for example, I always used to spend all my Stardust as a newbie powering up any old rubbish effectively. 1 stars, 2 stars. It was only when I'd started playing the game for a number of months that I then realised, why have I bothered powering all this up? Because a lot of it was just going to go in the bin because it wasn't good enough. So definitely try and hold back on powering stuff up, even if it's something you like. Try and hold back and slowly build up your team. How many years have I been playing? So I started the game on the 2nd day that it came out. So if you go over to the journal, you can see here 9th of July 2016 is when I started. So the 9th of July, it got released on the 8th, I believe, here in Europe. And on the 9th of July, I downloaded it. I played it for around about a month, and then where I live, there isn't many people or many stops or anything like that to interact with. So it was very hard to play. And then, so I ended up not playing it for about 2 years. And then I properly got into it around about 2018 time. So the account got created in 2016, but been fully playing it since around about 2018. Still haven't had any of these shiny boosted Pokemon this event so far. Shiny, that is. Both Remoraid and Fletchling, as we mentioned before. Still none of them have shined for us. Now, power spots, 160 left. If we claim the 120 that this gives us, we can then claim our walkie one. So we got 1,210, meaning that we should be able to do 4 Dynamax Wooloo for free. Yeah, you're more than welcome to stick around, but if you got shoot off, then thanks very much for dropping in. Make sure to hit the subscribe button as well. I go live quite regularly, so you can tune in for future lives, but thanks very much for joining today. Brilliant. Thanks very much for subscribing. So imagine to hit the exit throws off quite well at the moment. Hitting those excellent throws quite nicely, so we'll probably go ahead and put a lucky egg on in just a second. In fact, let's do that now. We can put our daily adventure incense on as well. So lucky egg and daily adventure incense. Now, one thing to just bear in mind as well during this event is that the lucky egg actually lasts for 1 hour, so it is doubled from the half an hour. We've gone ahead and put 2 on. So the lucky egg is going to be for a full hour, which is very, very cool. It means that you only have to use one for an hour event for the likes of raid hour, for example, last week, and of course a raid day, which we had yesterday. It was a very, very weird raid day yesterday. Of course, it was featuring 3 Pokemon, which we're not used to. Normally, we only get 1 featured Pokemon on a raid day, whereas yesterday saw the raid day feature 3 Pokemon, Mega Heracross, Horiyama, and Scraggy. So Scraggy, 1-star raid, Horiyama 3-star, and Mega Heracross 4-star. Now, of course, all of them shiny available, all of them shiny boosted. The normal raid day odds of 1 in 10 shiny boosted, and we managed to get a few shinies yesterday. It was quite a nice day for doing raids, but we did get quite a bit of rain later on, and we finished the raid day a little bit early. But yesterday we managed to get 2 Heracross shiny, which was pretty decent going. We got 1 female and 1 male. You can tell by the antennae. You can't tell when it's mega evolved if it's male or female, but you can when it's the normal version. And then we managed to get a shiny Scraggy and a shiny Horiyama. So managed to get a shiny of each one that was featured, which was quite nice. But we have already got those shinies already. I was hoping to try and get a better shiny Scraggy because, of course, Scraggy, its evolved form Scrafty, is one of those that has been rumoured to have a mega on the new Pokemon Legends ZA game, which is coming to Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2 as well later this year. While we've got some luck eggs on as well, we'll go have a look and see if we've got anybody to friendship level up, and we'll send some gifts out as well. But we are going to have to just keep an eye out on our spawns because we have got our daily adventure incense on, so we don't want to miss any glaring birds that might pop up. Let's just open this one up. Fletchling there off the daily. Another 20,000 from the friendship. There's a car coming, so we'll have to just see if we can get in a little bit. The only thing about these country roads is that it's only big enough to just fit a car in, as you can see there behind me. So hatch 2 eggs quest, we've got a couple of those in. They are the 5 kilometer egg spawns, the same as them. So Remoraid, Fletchling, and Grossiflower, which is the new Pokemon release, non-shiny. But the other 2 do have that shiny boost. So 1 in 128. Hopefully we can get a shiny out of an egg. That would have decent IVs if it does. Guaranteed 2-star at least. Whereas, of course, wild spawns can be any IVs. Completely random. Slugma on the daily did not catch. We'll catch a Slugma, we'll see what else spawns on the daily, and then we'll see if we have any more gifts to open up. We have a Cutiefly this time on the daily. We'll go ahead and catch a Cutiefly. It's normally quite a nice, excellent throw. There we go. Remoraid just swimming to the side, being a little bit annoying. Now it has turned 6 o'clock. You'll see the weather has changed as well in game, which is decent. It means it's gone to windy weather, but that doesn't weather boost any of the Pokemon, any of the Wooloo that we're going to be catching. Wooloo will be non-weather boosted, but as you can see there, Wooloo has now spawned as a Dynamax boss on all power spots nearby with a 1 hour timer. That is, of course, the start of Max Monday, 6 PM till 7 PM. And we are going to head down to these Wooloo. We've got 2 down to our left, down there, and we have got another 2 up there. So that'll be a 4 that we can do for free today. And we won't go ahead and spend any more particles than that, because of course this weekend we are going to be saving our particles and spending more particles on the Gigantamax Max Battle Day, and that's going to feature Gigantamax Snorlax. That's this weekend, Saturday the 19th of April. Gigantamax Snorlax is going to be added to the game for the first time. Very, very excited about that. It's going to be a very, very cool event. Now, the best counter for Gigantamax Snorlax, I will put a video up in the next couple of days, but the best counter for it is going to be Dynamax Machamp. That is going to be your best attacker. Potentially the best shield is going to be the Blissey, of course, the evolved form of Chansey. That might be the best one to use to charge up the energy and then switch into Dynamax Machamp when you go and do the attacks to Gigantamax Snorlax. Now, recommended trainer size for Gigantamax Snorlax this weekend is going to be at least 10 trainers if they have decent counters. If you are with a group where there's a few people who haven't managed to power things up, then you may be looking towards 15 or 20 players required. But if you've got a decent group with people who've powered Machamps up and some shield Pokemon, then you can start, or you should be able to take Gigantamax Snorlax down with around about 10 trainers, which is pretty decent going for a Gigantamax. Now, this exact spot is where we saw our Gigantamax Zapdos spawn last week, and it was a level 1. So will we get a sorry, not Gigantamax Zapdos, that would be incredible. A Galarian Zapdos. It was a level 1 as well, and we caught it first ball. This week it is a Remoraid. So exactly a week on from when we caught our level 1 Galarian Zapdos, we have a Remoraid in the exact same spot. So nothing really impressive about that. Still hunting for that shiny Galarian bird. But we have managed to get 2 level 1 Galarian birds caught now, both 47 CP, which is a pretty cool coincidence. Would be awesome if we could finish a family all at that same CP. That would be quite nice. Let's clear out that storage yet again as we head down to these Wooloos, catching as we go. So as you can see, a lot of grass spawns this event. The likes of Oddish, Grocery Flower, Roselia, Cherubi. Definitely a good event if you want to try and get your grass medal up. Now let's go ahead and see if we've managed to get any more Ultra Friends leveling up today. Pretty cool if we have. Let's have a quick look and see. There we go. We have got one there from Japan. Thank you very much for that trigger gift. And we'll send one back. This one is 2 days away, so we'll send that gift off. And they can decide whether they want to open it or whether they want to have the trigger. Would be really cool if we can get a shiny Cherubi in these final few hours of the event. So just approaching the first Dynamax Wooloo of the evening. We'll catch this Remoraid first. No shiny still on Remoraid. Definitely not wanting to shine for us this event. Neither is Fletchling. Hippo off the daily. Always get confused if it's male or female. I've got quite reverse sort of pattern of colours depending on the gender. But we always get confused which one's which. Score repeat. So with that we will jump in this Dynamax Wooloo. So the first Dynamax Wooloo of the evening. And if my memory serves me right, the Hundo CP we need to be looking for is around 302. So it's hopefully correct. We'll soon find out after this first battle to see if it's within that range. So as with Dynamaxes, you can't see the CP countdown when you do complete it. It is literally just a random CP when you encounter it. So you can't watch it count down, unlike normal raids. So Wooloo, max battle complete. $10,000 XP because, of course, that lucky egg. 387, so it's definitely not 302, the Hundo. Is it around about 402 then? Let's have a look at how good 387 is. Caught first ball, and 387 isn't too bad. It's a 13, 11, 15, so not terrible, not brilliant. It's in that middle ballpark, only just a 3-star potentially. Let's head into the second one while we're in range, and then we can catch these spawns around us before heading up to the others. This time going in with our Dynamax Machamp, giving him a bit of a trainer run out. Do a bit of training before the Gigantamax Snorlax, which is where they're going to be very heavily featured this weekend. And of course, depending on where you are, you should also have a lead-up research now released on the events tab. We'll show you that in just a second. As you can see there, that is the tasks that keep getting completed when we defeat these max battles. So we'll have a look at those in just a moment. They do reward some max particles as well. So if you claim them early enough, you could do more Wooloos today. Or if you held on from claiming those, you could do a additional Snorlax at a weekend. So that's probably what I'm going to do, is try not to claim those max particles off that research, and instead save those max particles for the Gigantamax Snorlax on Saturday. Caught second ball that time, Dynamax Wooloo. So let's check out this lead-up research. So if you go across to your events tab, scroll down, you'll see the Gigantamax Snorlax Max Battle Day lead-up time research. So very much a mouthful. And as you can see there, the winner max battle that we've completed is Machop Candy. Now that is, of course, because Machop is going to be one of the best counters, or its evolved form, which is, of course, Machamp. Now this research started at 6 PM, so it's only just started the same time as the Max Monday started. So if you haven't yet had this, you should get it at the same time your Max Monday starts. And as you can see there, we get 300, 600, 900 max particles plus an additional 500 at the end, so 1,400 max particles. And if you save all those up, going into the weekend on Saturday, you can do it at least in one. If you can find another 200 particles from somewhere, or you have 200 left over, you can do an additional 2 Gigantamax Snorlax. So definitely worth saving on to these particles that you earn throughout that research for Gigantamax Snorlax. Let's catch these spawns that are around here now, and then we'll head over to the other Dynamax Wooloo. We'll spin these stops as well. Shiny, no. Executor still doesn't want to be shiny for us. We haven't had very much luck with wild shinies this event. Raid shinies is where it seems to be sparkling for us the most. Let's just spin these and we'll carry on our way. So of course I can't claim any more free particles today, hence why the particles on these max power spots are being left there. We can't collect those. We've already reached our limit today, and we have 710 left. So that means we can do another 2 Dynamax Wooloo for free. Cherubi off a daily. No shiny, but still, we like seeing it spawn. So let's see if we've got any best friends leveling up today that we can open while we have this lucky egg on, or these 2 lucky eggs on. All the way down to best. It's a very, very long list, this. We perhaps would have been better starting from the top and going down, really. This one does trigger today. Let's open that up. Thanks very much for giving me that trigger gift. Much appreciated. And that is, of course, 200,000 as well, which is a very nice amount of XP. Definitely the easiest way to level up in this game is by using those friendship levels. Huge amount of XP. For example, I would have had to have done 10 legendary raids with a lucky egg on to get that same amount of XP. So it's an insane amount of XP from one gift. Of course, it takes a while to get there, but when you do get there, it is very, very rewarding. So we will do a route as well as we're heading up this way. Pub to Nature Reserve. We'll start that one. Meditite raid. Just up ahead, which we don't really want to do. So we'll leave that one. What is arriving on our rocket balloon? Is it Key? No. No match for my Iron Will. So it should be a steel type rocket. Gossiflower. No hundo from that egg. So we'll probably end up going to a professor later on. But it has rewarded us with an encounter with another one. And the second encounter is again a Gossiflower. So let's type in 4-star and see what we've got. We have got a Hundo Gossiflower, but that was from yesterday. Quite lucky to get one of those during this event. Don't know how much often it is going to spawn in the wild after this event. Some Pokemon, when these events happen, seem to stick around in the wild for ages, and some very rarely get seen again. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Gossiflower. So we'll go back a slightly different way, but we'll still be able to finish this route, even though we will wade off it a little bit. So make sure to get involved in the comments down below if you haven't already. Have you managed to get anything decent during this event? Of course, have you managed to get the new raid shinies, Blaciophallon and Stack Attacker? Or have you only managed to get the one in your region? I was very, very lucky with those. Blaciophallon, which is within the Western Hemisphere where I am. I managed to get in 2 raids, the shiny for that one. And then Stack Attacker, I was doing some remote raid invites for that from my good friends on my friends list in the Eastern Hemisphere. And we managed to get a shiny Stack Attacker again after just 2 raids, which was absolutely incredible. So we have managed to get at least one of each. I've since gone on and got another 2 Blaciophallon. But both are very, very cool shinies, I must admit. Remoraid shiny? No. Still not sparking for us. It's such a nice shiny Remoraid. We don't need it, but we do want it. It's a very nice shiny. Would be cool to get one on live stream. 2,479 CP Executor. And surprisingly it didn't stay in the ball. Let's try that one again. That time perhaps even a worse throw than the first one. We won't try again, we'll let that despawn. Because in fact we have got another one just up ahead of us now. This time not off the adventure incense. Again, a very, very high CP. Of course, it is weather boosted at the moment, with it being windy weather, and of course, Alolan Executor being a dragon type. It does boost the dragon types, this windy weather does. Loads of spawns around here, so we will just take a time. It's quite a decent spawn spot around here for Mantis, which is going to be featured tomorrow during Spotlight Hour. Make sure to tune in for that. We'll be live again tomorrow evening, same time, 6 p.m. till 7 p.m. local time. So exactly the same time tomorrow evening, we'll be live again for Mantis Spotlight Hour. We have got a Mega Sceptile raid nearby as well, so we might actually try and solo that as well. Did manage to do a few solo Heracross the other day. Yesterday, in fact, when it was featured on that raid day. Let's just check out Cherubi before it disappears, or we go too far, should I say. And then we'll spin these Pokestops nearby. Just messing up a little bit on the excellent throws now. Let's just need to take our time a little bit while we try and get some excellent throws. There we go, that's a decent change. Zygarde Salvo at the end of this route, although we have gone a little bit of an unorthodox way round, it's still brought us out towards the end of a route, so we can still complete it. Let's complete that route now. And that should be a 7-day bonus as well. So 7-day bonus of the route gets us some additional items and of course some more XP, which with that lucky egg means we get even more. So a few things here that we can do. So we'll have a sit down while we do these. But we have a Dynamax Wooloo. In fact, we have two Dynamax Wooloo quite close to each other here. And we also have a Mega Sceptile raid, which we could do as a solo as well. So first of all, let's start off with doing the Dynamax Wooloo. So first out of the two and third one of the evening. And we're going to go in with the recommended, which is thrown in a Machamp as number one. And we'll just go ahead and heal everything up while we wait for that to count down. And there we go. We're now in and going against the Dynamax Wooloo. So still yet to have this one shiny. And of course we haven't managed to get a decent one or an overly impressive one this evening. We've had a free start, but nothing overly impressive. So can we get any better than that 3-star ones that we've had before? 387, I believe, was the highest we've got so far tonight. Let's see what this one is. 397, so close to the 400 mark. How much better will that be in terms of IV? Let's see if this stays in and we can have a look at that. First ball, excellent throw, stays in. Let's go ahead and appraise this and see. 397 is a 3-star, and it's a lot better than a 3-star that we had previously. It's a 15, 14, 12. So it has good attack. It's probably up there as one of our best Wooloos. We'll compare them after this one to see if we've managed to beat our best ever Wooloo this evening. So again, recommending those Machamps, and we will just see if any other Pokemon need healing. Luckily enough, it didn't do any damage to our previous Machamp, by the looks of it at least anyway. Unless of course that is a visual glitch. Wooloo is preparing a large attack, but it won't get there. And again, it's not going to do any damage to us. Machamp in Dynamax form already. And it will see this out with just one hit of the Max Knuckle. And there we go, Dynamax Wooloo is down and out. So the fourth and final Dynamax Wooloo of this Max Monday that we're going to be doing tonight. 3 particles now all used, and like I mentioned before, we are going to save any particle packs that we've got for the Gigantamax Max Battle Day this weekend. And no shiny, 387, so back down to where we started at 387. And if I remember right, this CP, the first time around tonight, was a 13, 11, 15. Let's see if we're around the same mark this time around. So 15, 10, 10. So in fact, actually only a 2-star, but that's the difference a 15 attack makes, is that it rapidly declines the other stats, even though it is the same CP as the one we had before. So let's just have a quick look at see the Wooloos that we've had so far and see where the ones we've had tonight rank amongst them. So Dynamax Wooloos 394 is the best one that we had previously, and that one was a 14, 15, 12. And now tonight we've had a 387, 378, a 397, and a 387. So 397, that is now our best ever Wooloo, and it was the third one that we did tonight. So that one's got 15 attack, which is pretty decent. And then the other Wooloos are rather terrible, really. Have we managed to evolve any yet, Dynamax? We haven't. Just mainly holding off for a decent one, but we might evolve at 397. We'll have to wait and see if double actually becomes useful. Now, let's go ahead and solo this Mega Sceptile raid. So we're going to jump in, and we're going to see how easy this is to solo. Now, Mega Sceptile may well be weather boosted, because of course it does turn into a dragon type when it's mega evolved. So therefore, the windy weather will play in its favour. And it's recommending that we use Kyurem, of course, because it's a ice type. Weak, of course, super effective against grass type, should I say. And of course, because of that dragon typing, it's going to be double weak to ice. So let's jump in with these 2 Kyurems. Interestingly, it's put our second best Kyurem in first, and then our Hundo one afterwards. Now, don't know why it's really done that, but then again, who really knows why the recommended does what it does. Whatever Mega Sceptile is running as a fast move is definitely not doing much damage to a Kyurem though, which is good, being that we're around about the same amount of health taken away from each other here. And Mega Sceptile is a lot higher CP than us, as you can see, around about 10 times higher than what our Kyurem is running at. But of course, its charge move there, Dragon Claw, is super effective with it being a dragon type itself, Kyurem. So Dragon is weak to Dragon. Therefore, we get hit with a super effective charge attack. Now, ours are super effective as well, our Ice Burn, which is the best moveset to have on your white Kyurem. But we don't do as much damage as a Mega Sceptile does against us. But we are still managing to get through this pretty quickly. 230 seconds incoming. Dragon Claw, super effective, and used it again. So we managed to dodge that time, hoping that Kyurem stays in a little bit longer. That Dragon Claw does see us out though. And now we're in with Mamoswine. So Mamoswine is getting pounded by its fast move, but hopefully can withstand its charge move a little bit better than Kyurem. Shadow Mamoswine this one, so he has got 20% less defense, but we have got 20% more attack as well. So, and Dragon Claw does do similar amount of damage to the Kyurem, even though it doesn't register as super effective. Rayquaza, this one is double moved, has got dragon type moves as well as that Dragon Ascent, which you need for the Mega Rayquaza. Breaking Swipe being its dragon type alternative. And that's soon in and out and then we are down to our black shiny Kyurem. Very nice shiny. In fact, the only one we've actually fused so far on in terms of white or black Kyurem, mainly because I preferred the look of the black Kyurem shiny, even though the white Kyurem is the more useful out of the two. 150 seconds on the clock, and we are well into the red now on Mega Sceptile, so just over the halfway point. And we are in with our second Shadow Mamoswine, again level 50. This one an 89 IV. And it's credit to Mamoswine how good it still is, being that it's been around so long with that avalanche move. And again, one of the Ice-type Pokemon which have gone up there right near Mamoswine is Galarian Darmanitan. And that sees us out. So 111 seconds on the clock, and we have defeated Mega Sceptile. Very, very comfortable win. And 20,000 XP, of course. Same amount as XP given for a legendary raid. Megas have a 1 in 128 shiny rate. And unfortunately, this one isn't shiny, but 1533 solo Mega Sceptile. And let's see if it's any good as a solo. And again, it's the same IVs as our last Wooloo we did, 15, 10, 10. So not very good in that respect, but it is weirdly the same IVs as our final Wooloo that we did. So Mega Sceptile raid complete. And let's see what other raids we've got. We've got another Mega Sceptile raid, and we have a Blazier Fallon raid. So we might see if we can get some more people interested in that, send some invites out and see if we can get anyone into that raid to see if we get a last Blazier Fallon. Of course, Blazier Fallon will stay around on raids for the next few days, but of course it's the last one in terms of the Spring into Springs event, which ends today. So let's get catching these spawns as we head up to that next Mega Sceptile raid. So we will do the Mega Sceptile, and we'll try and do the Blacephalon raid. Executor. Now, the current showcase on Pokestops is your biggest grass type, and that's where a Lowland Executor really comes into its own. You can quite easily win some showcases with a Lowland Executor currently. Hey Emma, how are you? Thanks very much for joining. So let's head up to this Mega Sceptile. There's actually another Mega Sceptile behind it, but we've only 10 minutes left, so we might not be able to make that one in time. But especially this one right up here in just a moment, we can make. So we need to cross over to reach this one. So we'll do a Sceptile first, and then we'll see if we can get any interest for the Blazier Fallon. just up the road. See if we can clear out some Pokemon. We don't want to clear everything out because we want to try and keep some things for evolution. Nice evolution XP, some of this is. Roselia can definitely go into a bin. And same with Gossiflower. So that's cleared up some space. Enough so we can catch some more spawns. Cherubi, still no shiny. Remoraid, however, is still no shiny. No matter how much we say it, we're still not getting a shiny still, unfortunately. And Gossiflower will catch that, and then we'll just heal our current Pokemon that have fainted out that last raid before jumping in, and then they may appear again in a recommended. Now they're healed. So let's jump in on this next Mega Sceptile, and again it does start off with a Kyurem, but this time it's the black version of Kyurem to see us starting off. A lucky shiny black Kyurem. Now, as we mentioned before, black Kyurem is the worst out of the two. White Kyurem does hold a better TDO and DPS than black Kyurem, but the black Kyurem shiny does look very, very cool indeed with that neon green colour. So in we go for our second Mega Sceptile solo. Hey, welcome back. You'll join us as we are soloing our Mega Sceptile of the evening. So we managed to do 4 Wooloo Dynamax. No shiny. And now we are soloing our Mega Sceptile raid, the second one, as we mentioned. And then hopefully we are going to find enough people interested to do a Blaziafalon raid. So if anybody wants to do a Blaziafalon, let me know in the comments below. And you can add me prior to going into that raid and I can invite you to it. So we defeated the first Mega Sceptile with 111 seconds remaining. This one seems to be chucking charge moves a lot quicker than that first one. So we have racing through our Pokemon a lot quicker this time around. Still got Dragon Claw as a charge move like the first one had. But it does seem to be getting to him a lot more quicker than this one. Can I open some booster packs? There is other videos on my channel where I do open Pokemon TCG packs, booster packs. And I will be posting one later this week, so make sure to keep an eye out for that. We've got some Pokemon Pokeball tins to open, which have got booster packs inside. And we also have a subscription box to open over the course of the next few days. So make sure to keep an eye out for those videos up on the channel. But there's loads of booster packs to be opened over the course of the next few days. But there is also a section in my channel where we've opened up some previously. So make sure to go check that out as well. So this is our last Pokemon, I think, here now. This Rayquaza, and it will get defeated, so we will have to revive or go straight back in with a recommended again. The time here currently is 6:41 PM here in the UK. There's around about 19 minutes left of the Dynamax Wooloo Max Monday. But we have finished for today. in terms of Dynamax Wooloo. We only were set out to do our free ones anyway. We're going to try and save our max particles for Gigantamax Snorlax, which comes out on Saturday. So 111 seconds to beat from the first battle that we did. And this one seems to be, even though it's getting through more of our Pokemon and defeating our Pokemon more quickly, we seem to be defeating it quickly. There we go. And it's down and out with 116 seconds left on the clock. Thanks so much for joining from India, by the way. I know it's very late there, as you mentioned. So thanks very much for watching me. No shiny Sceptile, 1545, slightly better than the 1533 that we had before. But still no shiny, 1 in 128 for the shiny odds because it's mega. Still not wanting to stay in the ball. Let's try and get another excellent throw, and hopefully that stays in. Terrible throw that time. Use a golden pineapple. That may just help it a little bit. No excellent throw though, not even a great throw that time. But he did manage to stay in the ball, so rubbish throws do in fact catch raid Pokemon. 1545 does have 15 attack again, but instead of having 10 defense and 10 HP like the first one did, we have got 12 defense and 11 HP. So slightly better, but still not really worth keeping in terms of Sceptile. It is a very, very decent grass type as a mega. Regularly use it when grass types are effective against other raid Pokemon. I regularly mega evolve a Sceptile to help me with that raid challenge. But now we have a Blazier Fallon raid just ahead of us with 3 minutes remaining on the clock. We are going to jump straight into that and send some invites out to see if we can get anybody interested in that. Hopefully people are still raiding this. So let's jump in. The crazy looking clown guy. And let's see what interest we get for this. So let's send some invites out to anybody online. So it is quite an easy duo, this one. In fact, you can actually solo it, depending on if you've got the right weather conditions. We have managed to get someone else in, though. Should be quite easy to do as a duo. Now, we're just going to leave in a recommended team. One of the best counters for this is Primal Groudon. We are just going to leave the current recommended team in play. Let's see if we can get anyone else interested in this. Send out a few more. So just over 30 seconds remaining before we can continue this raid, and hopefully we manage to get another person in. But no worries if not, it should be an easy duo, as we mentioned. Just means it's going to take a little bit longer to take down. There it is, third one is in. Steve Weng, 34, has joined us. And the third one, team of 3, should be relatively easy to take down a Blacephalon with a team of 3. Hey Wilma, thanks very much for joining. So Dawn Wings Necrozma is what we're using against Blacephalon. Psychic and Ghost type against the Fire and Ghost of Blacephalon. That Shadow Ball that Blacephalon is running though is not doing us any favour with those Dawn Wings Necrozma. In fact, they've gone immediately out after entering the battlefield. And there is Groudon. Unfortunately not primaled, just a normal Groudon. And then we are in with our first Shadow Tyranitar, but we may see more of those depending on if we get defeated and chooses them in our further recommended team. Can of course spend time setting a team up for this to be more efficient, but with 3 trainers it's relatively easy to take down. If it was a duo and it was getting very, very close, then you could definitely set up a team and try and make sure to get yourself over the finishing line. Or in fact, if you was doing a solo, you would definitely want to set a team up and get the right weather conditions. But as a trio, it's relatively easy, even though you do go in with recommended. And Tyranitar is lasting a long time, that Shadow Tyranitar. And again, it's picked it mainly for its resistance, probably. It's chose Shadow Tyranitar, but of course, Dark moves are going to be effective against Blacephalon. As you can see there, super effective. Dark against Ghost. And it does resist that Shadow Ball quite well, with it being Ghost. Sorry, with it being Dark. Brutal Swing Tyranitar. Of course, Brutal Swing was added to the move pool of Tyranitar around about a year, 18 months ago now, and rapidly increased its effectiveness as a Dark type. And there we have Rampardos, one of the kings of the rock types. Now that's easy. Tyranitar makes an appearance, but doesn't have to do any more damage. Blacephalon is down and out. So trio done in 115 seconds remaining. 1837, nowhere near the 1884, which is a Hundo CP, but is it shiny? Have we managed to get a shiny? And even though we did go in with recommended, we still got hardest hitter. Shiny? No shiny clown for us today. So 2 Mega Sceptiles, 1 Blacephalon, 4 Dynamax Wooloos, and yet still no shiny this evening during the live stream. But we will be live again tomorrow during the Spotlight Hour, for Mantis Spotlight Hour. Make sure to join us for that. It's going to be the same time, 6 p.m. till 7 p.m, so the same time as tonight. Make sure you tune in for that tomorrow to see if we can get a shiny for Mantis during that Spotlight Hour. It isn't shiny boosted, it's still the full odds, 1 in 512. But with how many we're going to be catching, hopefully we can land ourselves a shiny one live on stream. That'll be really cool if we can. And of course, it is the last hour now of the Spring into Springs event here. Depending on where you are in the world, you may have already ended for you, or you may have a few more extra hours than I have. But hopefully you can get some of those shiny boosted shinies, the Remoraid and the Fletchling, before they disappear. But that is about it for today's live stream. Let's just check to see if we have managed to get any Hundos tonight while we've been walking around. And we have. We've managed to get a Hundo Hoothoot and an extra small. So that is pretty cool, that is. It was caught in the wild as well. So that is very cool. A Hundo extra small Hoothoot. Let's go. That is very surprising. So I'm happy with that. But no shinies tonight. So not brilliant in terms of that respect. But thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for Spotlight Hour, for Mantis Spotlight Hour, as we mentioned. Thanks so much. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Turn on that notification bell. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.